Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, timed to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer or the kids' room or the garage. That is how I've been doing it. Thank you so much for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. Well, in this time, as we walk forward and mentioned this last week, that this is a time of struggle for a lot of us. If it isn't for you, God bless you. But as we walk and we have choices to make when we preach from the pulpit, and sometimes we've got folks that think that we preach too much politics, or we have folks that don't think that we don't preach enough politics, and there's that pull back and forth, and it can be a struggle. So know that you're in my prayers as you walk through this and you figure out what your community needs, because you know your community. So thank you for the love that you're sharing with them, and you are rocking it. And thank you for being here with me, for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way, in your partnership in this ministry. Thank you. Now, this is for the narrative lectionary, and we're in Kings. It's always, someone pointed that out. It's like yesterday was No King's Day in the States, and actually across the world, over 7 million people showed up. That's pretty crazy, in a good way. And so we have got this. So we're in Kings, but we've got God's house being built. Solomon's talking about God building a house in the presence of God, and we love this. Like, you don't need a king. I'm your king. I don't need a house. We're going to build you a house. All of that, this cosmic comic relief in this. So the item that I'm going to using is a deck of cards, because you're going to make, or I'm going to make, or if you decide to use this, you're going to make a house of cards. And it's even better if you stink at it. So you're placing this, I've got a little familiar tremor, especially if I've got like a screwdriver and I go in and so my hand starts to really, really shake. So building a house of cards, but grounding it in that, because the idea is that when we think that this is the only place that God can live, that this is God's house, it can fall like a deck of cards. It can fall like a house of cards. That just one little thing falls like a house of cards. And our God is bigger than that. Our God is more resilient than that. And guess what? God has decided to dwell among us. We, in Emmanuel, God with us. God moved into the neighborhood, as we talk about that as we move into Advent in a month and a half ish. But as we move in this, that God is much bigger than these four walls. We might call the place we worship God's house. We are God's house. God dwells in us, and God dwells in our neighbor. And so this idea that when we want to contain God in these four walls, it can crumble and perhaps release and set free. Not that God needs to be set free, but maybe our image of God needs to be set free. But in that, where I just find it fascinating when we're like, we're going to do this. You don't need a king. I'm your king. We need a king. You don't need a house, or I don't need a house. I'm God. We're going to build you a house. It's ridiculous. And I think it's pretty pointed that God dwells everywhere, and especially in, with, and around us. All right, house of cards, come tumbling down. That's mixing my stories, but anyway, I'm hoping this can be useful in your own children's sermon. If you are looking for Reformation children's sermon text work, I have that posted on the Revised Common Lectionary, as we talk about both the Revised Common Lectionary for 20th Sunday after Pentecost. Yes, and I had to make sure it was the right after some season. 20th Sunday after Pentecost or Reformation Sunday. All right. Thank you so much for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregations and your family. You are rocking it. Peace.